Hey everyone, welcome on into AZ Audibles. I'm Sandy Charles and I'm joined by Devin Henry and Eric Sorensen. Gentlemen, we've been having so much fun this offseason, so let's continue that fun. We're going to be talking about teams that have something to prove as we look ahead to the 2021 season. Eric, what's your team?
My team, guys, is the Desert Edge Scorpions, and I think DE is a really interesting case study. When you go back to 2019, they advanced all the way to the 4A state championship. Fast forward a bit, Jose Lucero moves to St. Mary's, as you mentioned last week, Sandy, on this particular segment. The Carters come in from South Mountain, and what they did last year in their first year at Desert Edge is really impressive. They went 8-0 in the regular season, and they beat some really good 5A and 6A teams, O'Connor, Cactus, Sunrise Mountain, Ironwood. Unfortunately, they were the 8 seed in the Open 8, and they had to face Chandler in the first round. It's going to be interesting to see what the Carters do specifically on defense. Steven Ortiz Jr., gone. Chaz Clemens, safety from Texas, gone. Miles Hobbs, their leading tackler last year, gone. Massive RJ Roberts on the interior of that defensive line, gone. Lots of fresh faces. Flip the script to offense. That's the good news. Let's start with Adrian Lara, 3-year starting quarterback, Power 5 commit, headed to Washington State. Then you throw Jarrell McIntosh, who rushed for 1,187 yards and 11 touchdowns, massive running back. And finally, up front, they only return one offensive lineman, but that's Gavin Brocious. Big, strong, massive Michigan State commit. It's going to be interesting to see how the Scorpions do. They're going to have to put some pieces together, especially on defense, but I still think they have a shot to make a run and get back to the Open 8 and hopefully not be the 8 seed again.
And Devin, I know you love those West Valley teams. Are you going West Valley love today? What do you got for us?
Well, my thing is when you talk about teams with something to prove, my first thought is those teams who had the last spot in the 8-team brackets this year, starting with, of course, West Valley team Shadow Ridge, getting in number 8 spot in 6A, their first tournament appearance since 2013, but can they back it up? Soon-to-be senior quarterback returning Seth Gallardo earned that starting spot against Basha with a 10-point win to open up that season for Shadow Ridge. Can they show that they can be a contender moving forward and not fall back out of the tournament next year? But how about a team that not a lot of people talked about last year? In 3A, Thatcher got the last seed in the tournament from winning their play-in game. We all know the success, the history of their championships in the 2A conference. But now, after making it as the 8 seed in 3A, do they have what it takes to now be a contender for a championship moving forward in the 3A bigger conference? So that's a team that I'm really going to watch here in 2021. Do they have what it takes to continue building up on that foundation that they set this year in 3A?
Devin, I love the fact that you're putting the AZ and AZ Audibles. I mean, there are no borders to this segment. You're going all the way down to Thatcher to talk about the Eagles. Good job on that.
I'm going to stay a little bit closer to me up here in Phoenix, and that is Brophy. Head coach Jason Jewell, I really think going into his 3rd season, he has to prove that he can take this program to the next level. Now, 2020 isn't a fair assessment. I wouldn't say 100% fair due to COVID and injuries, losing their quarterback Elijah Warner to injury in the first game. And then COVID all year long just was really tackled their team, but they were 0-7. Those losses, Saguaro, Chaparral, Pinnacle, Centennial, Liberty, Notre Dame Prep, and Boulder Creek. I mean, what a tough schedule. And now, I mean, they have 3 studs returning. Defensive end, Zach Swanson, cornerback, Ben Morrison, tight end, Tyler Powell, and the quarterback battle between Leighton Duncan and Taj Hughes, who both played last year while Elijah Warner was out. So between those 3, going to be a quarterback battle, but this team has something to prove, and they have to do better than 0-7 like they were in 2020. So, gentlemen, it's going to be fun in 2021 to see how these teams bounce back. As always, this was another edition of AZ Audibles. Devin Henry, Eric Sorensen, I'm Sandy Charles. For more AZ Audibles, head to sports360az.com.